Hello, dear ones. Welcome back once again to Divine Invocations Tarot, and this happens to be the second deck that I'm using. That's the Gita deck. Just to let you know, Divine Invocations is the only channel on YouTube dedicated to Indian tarot decks. I do not do any personal readings, and if you like my work, you might want to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Calling in all the divine spirits to help us with the messages for the week. I have three cards ready. The first card is the seed of creation, second card is great souls, third card is pure devotees. The seed of creation. Let's read out the message from this card. This is from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7, verse 9 and 10. Punyo gandha pravitrivyam cha tejas chasmi vibhavasau jivanam sarvabhuteshu tapaschasmi tapasvishu. This means that I am the original fragrance of the earth. I am the heat in fire and life in all living things. I am the ascetic's inner spiritual fire. Know me to be the seed of all creation, original and eternal. I am the intelligence of the intelligent and the effulgence of all great and powerful persons. So, what we think we are actually not. So, what I mean is, in this idea of existence, we create our own entity, our own personality, and our own vision about who we are. Now, the actual form of us is known only by the divine. So, what we do in our process of evolving is we are searching for ourselves, and that's not a problem because everybody is in search or quest of themselves and their own lives. In the process of they trying to find out the meaning on their lives, they might crossroads with you. So that does not mean you are to be held responsible for anybody else's karma. This card itself is a seed of creation. This itself means that you are creating your karmas. Simply means if you cross way or path with somebody on in your life, and when you encounter somebody you're not sure about why that person came to your life, you do not have to delve too much into the mystery of it. That's where the ego gets caught up, because ego has to be free, then only you'll be able to rise beyond that, because that's the eye through which you can see God. We cannot imagine any conscious states without relating to our egoic self. So in order to even understand something called divine, we need to relate ourselves with the divine, and the pathway, the only possible pathway, is through the mind. When the mind crosses the point when the heart connects with the spirit, that's when there is an eternal silence, you can say. That's when we are able to connect with our actual divine self or our spiritual side. So, the seed of creation itself is talking about God letting you know that, whatever we are trying to create is something which is His power. Even our spiritual fire that we are creating by meditation or by prayers or by talking or creating good thoughts, it is also the credit goes to God Himself. So, having said and done what karmas we are creating, we need to be free in our mind that we have to be available for the right vibrations. That's very important because our vibrations is affected by people whom we live with. That includes the people whom we work with. So this card is not just talking about the idea that the seed of creativity in any form, be it music, art, culture, literature, or doing good to others, because creativity has no limits and no dimension as well. And that simply means you can easily catch up a thought and race ahead to create more diviner experiences or diviner thoughts with that. So entire game of mind trying to evolve is in a way something related to getting into that loop of not being knowing how to create, but the end result is how much the mind expands, it is up to the heart to experience. So the seed of creativity is the seed of your own heart, which is connecting with your divine self. So it's not a mathematical puzzle called life. Life is the rush of, you know, the blood and the cells of our body, and we are emanating a vibration into the universe, and we are having different modes or levels of percepting energies and vibrations. And in the process of doing it, we are trying to find out a better way to look at life. And that's what is the vision of God, or the vision of creativity, you can say. Because when we think about creativity, we think about the dimension of God. So you need to be open in the coming days to understand that creativity can take any idea and appear right in your mind. It is commonly believed that people who are alive, who think creative, there is a cloud which is there in the universe, and that cloud is the energy field from where anybody else can take your energy as well. So it's not about the fact that you thought about something, you let it go. You just have to make sure that you let that idea and thought develop and help you get the right direction that you desire to create with your life. The next card is a beautiful card that says great souls. Let's read out the message from chapter 7 verse 19. Bahunam janamanam ante janavanan mam prapadyate vasudeva sarvam iti sa mahatma sudurlabha. After innumerable births and deaths, those who are wise surrender unto me, knowing me to be the cause of all causes and all that exists. Such great souls are very rare. So, this is the word of Krishna. He says that irrespective of how many births we have taken, how many times we have died or taken birth again, one who chants his name is able to connect with the divine. So, having said and done, the belief system, the way we are born and brought up, the culture, everything is involved in our evolution. But the most important thing is we have to remember the God's name, and that's the word of God, and that's how we will stay connected with the divine. Always remember, irrespective of what happens to us, what's critical is we keep knowing and keep believing that there is an entity which protects us, which not just protects us, it heals us and allow us to develop into a better human being every time as we keep breathing. So it's a part and parcel of this body and mind conscious states. That's what we call God. And God in the form of Krishna is the, you can say the epitome of love. So when we think of divine love, we can create that vision of Krishna in our mind, which helps us to develop ourselves into a better person. The last card is pure devotees. This is from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10, verse 9, which says, Mad chitta madgata prana bodhayanta parasparam kathayantas cha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramati cha. The thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives are surrendered to me, and they derive great satisfaction and joy, enlightening one another and speaking about me. What a beautiful way to end the reading. This talks about the fact that it's just not just critical and important for a person to keep chanting God's name in the mind. It is also important to relate to all the experiences that we are having to be the experience of God. And that's what is called the divine interplay. And it's believed that life is an interplay of nerves, the energies and vibrations that we are living in. And having said and done, you can easily understand that the seed of creativity keeps you moving into a great diviner self of you, from where you can connect with Krishna, and then you become a pure devotee. And this is how this is the message for the current week. Jai Shri Krishna.